Snoop Dogg is raging hot all over again as Kendrick Lamar officially takes the West Coast King crown from him, and the tension between them is heating up fast. While some rappers are staying on the sidelines, others are calling Snoop out for being jealous. Fans are in a frenzy, wondering how this whole mess started. But y'all, is Snoop just being salty over Kendrick's last album where he subbed him, or is he just pressed about losing his relevance in hip-hop? Well, grab a seat and let's get into this drama.
Didn't like what you did. What did I do? You played some music. What music? Then I had to go look at the, I'm like, oh, that's cuz. Damn. So then I deleted it, called nephew, left him a message because he ain't pick up. He was working on his shit.
Old beefs are resurfacing, especially between Kendrick Lamar and Snoop Dogg, and this isn't the first time we've seen West Coast rappers go at it. It's been almost a year since Snoop played in Kendrick's face, and just 4 months since Kendrick clapped back in his album, but the tension is still thick. In multiple interviews, Snoop has stressed that Kendrick took the West Coast crown from him and that he never gave it up willingly, but receipts say otherwise.
In 2011, I want to say, there's a historical moment. Yourself, Corrupt, The Game, I'm missing somebody else, essentially passed the torch to Kendrick Lamar on stage.
Yes.
Now, it looks like Snoop is done pretending and is finally showing his true colors. For starters, when it comes to the beef between Drake and Kendrick, Snoop has always low-key rooted for Drake, praising him for never missing or losing, while still calling Kendrick his nephew.
When Drake first came out, I was like, he just gonna be here and going to the mall. Because I was like, I keep hearing, you know, basic shit. Then I'm like, this motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No.
And then he just knows how to be a public relation type of motherfucker to shoot a video where he passing out money and doing all kind of, come on, man.
He learned from, like, he took all the smart shit that you guys did.
Fuck.
And you're right, because in the heat of battle, he don't fucking miss. Back against the wall, push the T.
With someone like Snoop, the saying, your biggest ops are usually from your own hood, couldn't be more fitting. And y'all know Kendrick isn't one to play messy until he has to. That's when he literally said, if Snoop thinks he can take sides with my enemy, then he better be prepared to take the same shot as well. And when Kendrick delivered, he did it at the most unexpected time and didn't miss. But y'all, the drama was already brewing way before that, back when Kendrick was chosen as the headliner for the 2025 Super Bowl. Rappers like Birdman jumped into the mix and put Snoop Dogg in his place. But it didn't stop there. Just when Snoop thought he was getting back into K-Dot's good graces, Kendrick put him on blast for being two-sided. And many have compared this whole situation to what Snoop did to Tupac's. Going down memory lane, Snoop played in Tupac's face during his beef with Biggie and Diddy, who were East Coast rappers. They pointed out how Snoop went on Angie Martinez's radio show praising Biggie and Diddy and claiming he had no issues with them, right at the height of Tupac's beef with them. So how could he make a move like that? And if betrayal hurts, imagine being betrayed and gaslit at the same time. Tupac immediately distanced himself from Snoop and never reconciled before his passing. But it's like Snoop learned nothing from that. In hindsight, Snoop did all that out of jealousy. He saw Tupac's rise at Death Row Records as the end of his own time in the spotlight, and he was pressed about it. So pressed that he started cozying up to the enemy while hiding behind the excuse of hating violence and promoting peace. Yeah, right. And now, history is repeating itself with him and Kendrick. After running the West Coast for over 28 years, it only made sense for Snoop to pass the torch to the next generation. And he did, alongside Dr. Dre in 2011. It was a touching moment, but people later realized it was all for show, mainly to spite the game. In reality, Snoop never truly let go. It was like he handed Kendrick the title, but not the actual throne, constantly undermining his place. But Kendrick's music and influence spoke for themselves and pushed him to the top. And that's why to this day, Snoop still feels like Kendrick took the crown from him.
Kendrick is the king of the West.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He took the throne from me.
Yeah.
Ain't no giving it, he took it. That's why he where he at now.
Okay.
You know, accident why he running this shit and finna get Grammys and Super Bowl?
Yes, sir.
He took it from me.
Yes, sir.
Snoop took every opportunity to downplay Kendrick's reign while still positioning himself as the face of the West Coast. Unlike Dr. Dre and other legends who fully stepped aside, Snoop never really did, and people noticed. Whispers started circulating in the media about his true intentions. But what really chipped away at K-Dot's trust was Snoop's actions when it came to his beef with Drake. From posting Drake's tailor-made freestyle on his story to later claiming he had no idea what was going on, things were looking shady. And let's not even get started on how disrespectful this was to Tupac's legacy. People expected Snoop to call out Drake on his BS, especially since this battle involved a fellow West Coast rapper, but he did the exact opposite. And when fans called him out, he blamed it on the substances he was on, and not to forget old age too. Before giving his excuse, Snoop posted a reaction video claiming he had no idea why everyone was making such a fuss. They did what? When? Where? What? Are you sure? He questioned, acting completely caught off guard. Why is everybody calling my phone? What happened? What's going on? I'm going back to bed. Good night.
They did what? When? How? Are you sure? Y'all have a good night. And to all. Right off. Everybody calling my phone, blowing me up. What happened? What's going on? I'm going back to bed. Good night.
Looking back, it's clear Snoop was trolling. A lot of people even accused him of taking a check from Drake just to hurt K-Dot. But trust Snoop to play both sides. When asked about Drake's AI diss track, he said, "I want to give both of them a shout out for raising the bar in terms of lyrics and song making. The writing has improved since this confrontation, or whatever you want to call it. Those are my nephews. I'm not in the middle of it. I support both of them. That's their personal business, not mine. But as far as what they did for the rap game, they made you rap again." He went on to add, "You can't just mumble and gimmick your way through a song anymore." And just like that, Snoop proved what everyone had been saying. He's fake and always goes where the benefits are. After claiming he had no personal stake in the beef, the internet went full detective mode and quickly found out that was all cap. Turns out, Snoop had a lot to gain beyond just the credit he was getting. Rumors started flying about a financial venture linking him and Drake, with claims that Drake even had shares in it. But Kendrick wasn't about to let Snoop's snaky behavior slide. In his UNX album, which dropped on November 2nd, 2024, he took a direct shot at Snoop in Watts It Out murals, rapping, "I drew the line and decimals. Snoop posted tailor-made. I prayed it was the edibles. I couldn't believe it, but hear me out." Kendrick wasn't done with Snoop yet. He kept subbing him in the next line, rapping, "All these knots agitated, I'm just glad they showing their faces. Plenty artists, but they outdated old-ass flows, trying to convince me that you are their favorite." Kendrick is a true lyricist, and he made sure to speak his mind, without caring about Snoop's age or his status as the former West Coast king. Many saw this as a direct slap in Snoop's face, and it's obvious he was raging over it. But he knew showing his true feelings would only give him out. So he tried to play it cool and laugh it off, saying, K-Dot's new album, it was the edibles, West King. While some people fell for Snoop's gimmicks again, others called him out for switching up faster than the weather. Since then, many believe Snoop has been low-key salty toward Kendrick. Taking the West Coast crown was one thing, but Kendrick subtly calling Snoop outdated and old in his lyrics, that was a direct call for war. But here's where things get even more interesting. Snoop wasn't the only one who felt K-Dot's wrath. Lil Wayne also got a taste when Kendrick name-dropped him, rapping, "I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down. Whatever though." But unlike Unlike Snoop, Lil Wayne was more upfront about his feelings after getting dissed by Kendrick. He took to X to respond, saying, "Man, WTF I do? I just be chillin' and they still come for my head. Let's not take kindness for weakness. Let this giant sleep. I beg you all. No one really wants destruction, not even me, but I shall destroy if disturbed. On me. Love." Y'all know Snoop was dying to say something similar, but had to keep his composure. As for Kendrick's shot at Lil Wayne, it was no coincidence. He was calling Wayne out for how he reacted to Kendrick headlining the 2025 Super Bowl just a few weeks ago. As y'all know, when Lil Wayne found out he wasn't picked for the Super Bowl halftime show, he had a complete meltdown. In his mind, he thought he had it in the bag, especially since the show was happening in his hometown. On top of that, he assumed the smoke between him and Jay-Z had settled, and since Jay-Z's company, Roc Nation, helped select the halftime performer, Wayne thought he was a shoo-in.
First of all, I want to say forgive me for the delay. Just the delay. I want to say I had to get strength. I had to get strength enough to do this without breaking. I must say thank you. I must say thank you to every voice, every opinion, all the care, all the love and the support out there. Is your words turn into arms, and it held me up when I try to fall back. That hurt a lot. You know what I'm talking about? It hurt a whole lot. I blame myself for not being mentally prepared for a letdown. And for just automatically mentally putting myself in that position like somebody told me that was my position. So I blame myself for that. But I thought that was nothing, I thought that was nothing better than that spot and that stage and that platform in my city. And so it hurt. It hurt a whole lot. But y'all are fucking amazing. It made me feel like shit not getting this opportunity. And when I felt like shit, you guys reminded me that I ain't shit without y'all.
While all this drama was unfolding, Snoop reappeared at the center of the whole controversy, this time taking jabs at Lil Wayne during an episode of Drink Champs, where he appeared alongside Dr. Dre. That's where Snoop told Wayne to stop crying about missing out on his lifelong dream of headlining the Super Bowl. Snoop also defended Jay-Z, saying, "Hip-hop artists should be honored that the art form is being shared with a wider audience." He then added, "Before Jay-Z got a hold of the Super Bowl, wasn't no niggas performing." But that wasn't all. Before dropping the mic, Snoop low-key suggested that Lil Wayne wasn't as great of an artist as he thought, and that was the real reason he wasn't picked. Speaking about Jay-Z, Snoop said, "He's creating a wave of artists to have an opportunity to perform. If you're a good artist and a great artist, then your time will come." Referring to Lil Wayne, he continued, "I was never crying about it or mad about it. When Dr. Dre called me and asked me to have his back, I was there for him. But I didn't feel like I was supposed to be there or demand to be there." Snoop wrapped up by saying, "This is a big event. People look at everything when they pick the performer. You should just be honored that hip-hop is even being seen on that platform, and instead of hating on the next man, be happy."
What we need to think about is that before Jay-Z got control of the Super Bowl, what no niggas perform. So let's go back to the essence of the beginning of he's creating a wave of artists who have an opportunity to perform. If you're a good artist, if you're a great artist, your time can come. Like, I was never crying about it or mad about it. When Dr. Dre called me and asked me to get his back, I was there for him.
As much as the advice wasn't bad, the timing was off. And coming from Snoop, who has acted out of jealousy himself in the past, it felt unnecessary. Other rappers, like Birdman, didn't waste a second coming at Snoop. And if y'all know Birdman, you know he doesn't play about Lil Wayne. In fact, Birdman has referred to Wayne as his son on multiple occasions. That's how deep their loyalty runs. So after Snoop's comment about Wayne being a crybaby, Birdman wasn't about to let that slide. He took to X and wrote, "Niggas jump on these podcast interviews speaking about another nigga. WTF is wrong with y'all? You got nothing doing with your MF life? Wayne never mentioned none of you niggas. You started mentioning him for clout." Birdman wasn't the only one who had something to say to Snoop Dogg. Nicki Minaj also had a message, though hers was more directed at Jay-Z, who usually works with the NFL to select the halftime show performers. She wrote, "I love watching the whole industry play dumb time after time. LOL. The truth is, the truth no matter who tells it. Picking and choosing who y'all accept truth from, then bam, pow. Might tell you a joke but won't tell you a lie." Rappers were coming hard at both Snoop and Jay-Z, making it clear they weren't happy with how things played out. As for Wayne, once the drama settled, he made it clear that he's not giving up. He's still determined to one day headline the Super Bowl halftime show.
Okay, speaking of Super Bowl, I gotta hit you with this because this is just me. And I do love you, but I just remain baffled and angry over why the NFL did not choose you to play halftime of a Super Bowl that's going to be in your hometown. And I know you went through a lot with it, but now that your feelings have settled some, how do you explain their choosing not to ask you?
Well, so I'll give you two, I give you both. So when I say, I give you my general answer and then I give you the personal answer. So generally I explain it. Generally I just believe that, they, for whatever reason, I believe that it's over my head. Meaning that's, I don't know why, period. Yeah, obviously I believe that it's it's perfect, but I do not know why. But personally, the person I am, I straight look at it like, you ain't there. You ain't there. You gotta get there. You gotta get there.
A lot of people have had mixed opinions about this whole drama, with many calling Snoop a hypocrite for shading other artists for feeling the same way he did when Tupac joined Death Row Records. Hip-hop fans also clowned him for only picking sides when it benefits him and makes him look cool. Oh, and let's not forget how Snoop literally sold out and performed at Trump's inauguration after dissing him for years. People haven't forgotten about that either. To many, Snoop is the kind of guy who would do anything for a couple of bucks, and K-Dot knew that all too well. That's why he wasn't tripping when he called Snoop out directly. As for finally handing over the West Coast hip-hop crown to Kendrick, a lot of people have also trolled Snoop for even crowning himself king in the first place, arguing that it was only possible because 2PAC is no longer here. But y'all, I want to hear your thoughts on this whole drama. Do you think Snoop low-key has beef with K-Dot for taking over the West Coast spotlight? And what do you make of Snoop calling out Lil Wayne for feeling bad about not getting picked to headline the Super Bowl? Was he being a hypocrite? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to stay tuned for more content like this.